Hello. Excuse me. Let's see if it's going to start. All right, I think we're good. I think we have sound. Let me see. Hello. Yep. There we go. Okay. Just was making sure. Okay. Well, here's a rare Sunday stream. My student kind of gave the idea of doing the lesson tomorrow. He's got some stuff going on today anyways, and so I figured I'd hop on here and use this time wisely. Actually, I have a pretty good setup right now of using my Engel. It's a Fireball 50. Fireball? The Thunder 50? Thunder 50, sorry. Using my Thunder 50 here. And I've got it with an SM57 in front of it. And it sounds really great, especially with the single coil stuff. Let me just make sure, actually. That, especially with the single coil stuff. You're going to hear a couple. Nice, dude. Okay, that sounds pretty good. All right. Might be peaking a little bit. Take that back just a smidge. I'm also got it set on a pretty light tone right now. Trying to get comfortable, sorry. Okay. What I mean is, like, I don't have, this is just the crunch channel with like mild gain, I would say. It's really nice for getting the clean stuff with a little volume roll. Pretty good tone. It's kind of like Lenny, the way Lenny follows around. That what was that? It's pretty nice. Whoops. I've been doing that a lot with this guitar. I don't know what it is. I think it might just be the setup on it right now, or maybe it's just the string. I broke my E string, so I'm using a single Ernie ball. So it might just be the E string too. It's only been happened recently, but I pull the string off pretty easily off the fretboard like that. There's really no recovery from that. I worked pretty hard in the yard yesterday and then pretty hard in the yard. You can see my blister on my thumb right there, actually. I had a whole bunch of dirt I had to move yesterday and fill in a trench behind a retaining wall. And then today I had a whole bunch of leaves to get. And I also still managed to get to the gym for an hour workout and a swim. So I'm I'm feeling it a little bit, so that's why I got the strat. I got the strat out. We can still do the crazy licks if anybody wants to talk about them, but I'm in definitely a little bit more of a chill mood today, based off of those previous statements. I used to be able to get it backwards too. Oh, it's still kind of there. So you can like the alternate picking harmonic. It's very difficult to get to ring out high. It's so tough. I can maybe do an easier one. That's pretty close. Tough. It's hard to play on this light setting that I have here. But you get a lot of definition, so it's worth it, I think. Oh, ran out of fretboard there. That's tough. That sounds like really good to me in my office right here. But you guys, if anybody's out there listening, you should let me know how it sounds. Like I said, I'm using a new setup today. I got my Ingle with a SM57 in front of it. I can't quit my brain from hearing that F sharp. There it is. That's what it is. Picardy third at the end. Why not? Oops. It's tough with this dry setting. Now that was a cool modulation, right? Oops. Shit. To do. Everything sounding okay out there? I had a buddy that came up with a pretty cool idea, and I think I should try it. He posited that you could possibly trigger the what's it called, copyright algorithm by playing a song, and the goal was to try to trigger it with how perfect he played it, right? So if you played, like for a good example would be like Lenny. If I played Lenny perfectly, if I could, which that's not what's about to happen, right? You see, I said that. I didn't mean it in the way that it sounded, I promise. I think he actually does, in the beginning he comes up to, I'm pretty sure E actually. Let's see if this gets copyright struck after that. I don't know if that's a thing that actually happens, but that would be pretty funny if it was. That's a tough one. All right, so maybe we'll do a little talking about something. It's been, how long has it been? Damn, it's been 15 minutes. Nobody's really popped in yet. Sunday blues, dude. Let's talk about some licks. Let's talk about, let me think. Let me play for a second and I'll think of some licks to talk about. Excuse me. That would be a cool one to talk about, but I'm just not good at it. There's like, Tamu Menasari would play it like this. I can't do it very well. That's like there was a huge like influx of new guitar players trying to do that when Troy Grady had his, I think it was Troy Grady that Tamu was on. And I, as an idiot, I think I've told this story before, so you might have heard this, but I was an idiot. And this, I didn't even analyze. I know what a dominant chord is and using secondary dominants. I know this is bread and butter for somebody, you know, who goes to school for music. And so I sent him a message on Facebook, I think. And I sent an analysis that somebody else had done without really reviewing it. I took the guy at his word, and I should not have. And I said it was a minor 7 flat 5. Well, I hadn't even really played it at this point. I only had seen it, and I was like, well, that sounds dominant to me. But I didn't even question. I just sent it to him and said, hey, why are you going here? This is pretty cool, man. What are you doing here? And he goes, he said, that's dominant. That's not minor 7 flat 5. And I was like, well, of course it is, right? The way that he plays. Yeah. That's obviously a dominant, right? E, F, G, A. It's a fourth away, dominant fourth, and we're playing a dominant chord. And then he goes to. And the funny thing is I had sent that to him, and I felt like such an idiot when he wrote me back. But anyways, I digress. The lick itself, we should do it in A. I think it's harder to play it up here, so it's fun to do. But the way he would play it would be. Those. And you see I have some very deliberate motions here. I really slowed the video down to catch this too. I can't remember if he hammers on or if he picks that. He might pick that. But he comes up. It's either a hammer and a upstroke there, but then he switches back immediately. He talks about it being really comfortable to him. For me, this is very difficult for me to go from this to this, and he looks like he's actually doing that too. It's crazy. And I always speed up that last part. I don't know why I do it. See, I even just sitting there, I'm trying to get my little picks off of that hammer on and pull off like that. Maybe. I don't know if he does that. He might. I doubt it though. You see how I gotta get that downstroke and that upstroke. It's all upper pick slanting like hardcore. The ascending feels better because you only have to come back for those upstrokes. But the up or the descending's bad. Bad for me at least. Sorry. It's so hard, man. That's so hard to do. I would rather. And then pick, maybe I'll sweep the last part. Oh man, it's tough. Save me distortion. Yeah, it's a cool one, man. It fits really nice into all of your minor shapes. And it's a cool, I always used to just play, I would do one of two things. I would do the Jason Becker, which I still think is a really good way to visualize these arpeggios. But the main reason why I would do this is because I could get this. That's how I would always play it at the bottom, like that. when I would do like the sweep, because it feel good. I'm literally coming down into something that feels really normal for me. I'd usually use my pinky. Is what I would usually use, but in this case, it's nice to use your hands moving up with that shape if you use your ring finger, right? Like that shift happens right there. Here, that's a tougher shift to make, right? To get my ring finger, because I have my pinky here, I need to get my ring finger here. That's weird. Same fret, right? I could just roll. If I roll my pinky, I guess that would be really weird. All this, it's really tough to have a situation where you skip a finger and the frets are right next to each other. I think it's a weird guitar nerd thing, but for me, it drives me nuts. So the way I always did it is like that. And most of these shapes are like, so for example, so I wouldn't do the hammer on, it's funny. The way this shape for me has never been easy, but I went and learned Serena, the arpeggios. Oh man, I couldn't even start to play that right now for you, honestly. But he uses a lot of these shapes. What was the one? Oh, I don't even remember it, to be honest with you. Yeah, that's what it is. He's combining his major shapes. Combining his major shapes, like with all the strings. Like that. And so for me, I always thought to myself, well, this is my favorite position because that lick lives inside of there. And then, of course, Richie Kotzen came along, or at least I should say I found Richie Kotzen whenever I did. And, that little lick came around, which is basically... Oh, I messed up there, sorry. It's weird to do that without my pinky. I usually put that. I usually start off with my pinky and then switch. But the ability to have a whole octave here, right? 1, 3, 5, and then octave. At the end of and then finish it high was really cool for me. But I used to play it like either like that, or I would always go like what was it? I would go right. That was the other one I would play, which sounded really nice. You could be doing like a or whatever. It's a nice thing to throw in there. But I think that this. My cat is going crazy. Cece, what are you doing? It's like chasing something around the room. Good God. I like having that hammer on in there. It makes it sound more full to me. And so I've been trying to use that as much as possible in place of those other ones. Sometimes I still, if I'm using that lick, I would always I'll go for that. But which is a really interesting technique too, because it's super uncomfortable. Just to be frank, at least for a while. And the main reason why is because you find yourself, even if you're using your pinky, you find yourself in a situation where the picking can be difficult. But that's the reason, in a lot of these cases, the reason why we use a hammer on or a pull-off. It'll get us around that section and allow us to do the same pick again. So down, up, hammer, up. There's enough time there while I'm hammering on to do my second upstroke. And I get a down going... I get a down coming back down, descending, pull off, and then another down. So, and as I always do, I fall into the trap of Paul Gilbert's teachings here, where he always would do that in his licks. He'd have a lick where he would take, maybe like. Or maybe his. I don't have the right setting for this right now, and I'm not great at that. Yeah. But that. I never really used that before. I only picked it up because it specifically used that same kind of picking. I could come right back into my up, down, pull, pull, down, up, hammer, hammer, right? Which gave me plenty of time to do the same pick again. So up, down, pull, pull, down, up, hammer, hammer, up. Well, that's the same kind of. I got used to that feeling, right? And that's what I would do. I would kind of turn it into like that with my long runs, or I would pick a small little pattern like, which is the same thing: down, up, hammer, up, right, down, pull, down. So I've used the same idea here to give myself the time to do an up or a down where I need to, and of course it's all outside picking, as was the tenant. So if I did like a that right there, is pretty much the same thing. It's the same thing we did. Oh man, it's tough. I think I'm picking it different there than I do when I play it. Yeah, it's the same. It is the same thing. 2 ups and 2 downs. I've never really thought about that one, honestly. But it's the same. It's the same idea. And to get that feeling is pretty important, I think. Like one leads to the other, in my opinion. To be outside the string. There's like, see, the Paul Gilbert lick lives right there. Picking everything's cool, but I think. Oh, I'm messing. Getting some hammer-ons and pull-offs in. I think is the way to go. Play what is that, dominant 6? Like where you would definitely not expect to hear it. You just come back like you totally meant to do it. Yeah, so nobody has any questions or anything? There's nothing, no licks you guys are working on that I can help with or anything? I'm kind of at a loss when I don't have anything, like, because I come in here to stream mainly, if there's anything I can do to help anybody, or if anybody, not to be the unteachable person here, but if anybody has any ideas for me or whatever, I'm, just to kind of get this community thing going. Yeah. All right, so I'll just keep improvising away. we can get a harmonic there. What's usually gonna be? Oh, sorry. I forget it. Man, it's tough. Let me get back into it. Sorry. I'm gonna skipping a whole bunch. Angela, what's up, dude? I hold my pick. I like to. As I always tell my students, it's like the first knuckle of your first finger, right? That's where it should be laying on the flat spot. Geez, sideways like this, right? About to the end of your finger there, right? And then what happens is when you touch your thumb, you push your thumb forward, right? And your first finger comes back a little bit. And so for me, a comfortable spot here would, I feel like I get a lot of tension here, pushing my thumb forward. Sometimes it goes back too, but like a... you can see I have like a, it's that what I was talking about with my side of my thumb, and I've kind of pushed it and it kind of sits. Kind of sits there on my first knuckle like that. Yeah, I think that's right. Not too far forward. It's not like up here. It sits right around the corner, and that first finger is kind of coming back a little bit. It's the only way that I felt that I could like get with my picking, and on my other videos I've talked about probably ad nauseum at this point, a lot of Troy Grady's idea of two-way pick slanting, or pick slanting just at all, like downward pick slanting versus upward pick slanting, which they now call escape motion. But I find the easiest way to explain it is to call it pick slanting, because you can see the pick in real time turn 45 degrees versus 45 degrees this way. Of course, upward means escape down, whereas downward means escape up, right? Which that would just stand to reason, I think. Yeah, I am a downward pick slanter, but I think it's important to be a two-way pick slanter more than anything. Yeah, you have to change it with direction. So what I talked about in my last video, which you should go if you have some time, I'll talk about it a little bit right now, so you don't have to go anywhere. But I had a lot I said. I gave a lick and stuff, which I'll show real quick. That kind of helps with this idea. And it's important to remember that you have to do both. If you play 3-note per string scales, there's nothing you can do about it. You're going to have to be able to escape the string on an upstroke and escape the string on a downstroke the very next time, because it's an odd number of strings, right? So, or odd number of notes, I'm sorry. And so, we could take something like, what do I do? Yeah, C major. I was going to say A major, but I want to do A minor in a second. I want your ear to be tuned. So right there, I'm picking the first new string on an upstroke, right? Down, up, down, up. Now for a downward pick slanter, like you see me doing here, that's nice. That feels really good, right? I'm into the next note pretty easily here, right? It feels nice to me. But the thing is I have to catch this new string on an upstroke, right? Which means that it flips my picking around. Sorry. See there, right? That's the picking motion right there. See how I'm upward pick slanting, right? I haven't flipped my wrist really hard there, right? But I have come through enough to come back into my downward pick slant, right? So I'm using my fingers a little bit more than anything, but to exaggerate that, I'm showing you, this way. But I'll show this lick real quick. So we'll do it in A minor. This is a really good lick to use because you'll watch my hand as I'm ascending. I have a downward pick slant more than anything, and as I descending, I have an upward pick slant more than anything. Yeah, well, so it's not the A string every time, right? It's not like every time I play the A string I switch to an upper pick slant, but it's the fourth note. It's like I would say that you're downward pick slanted until you have to come back up. Let me think about that a little bit, actually. I'm trying to watch myself in the camera. Yeah, because you can see my hand. If I play it fast, you you can see my hand having to restart that second time. After I have upward pick slant, I'm back down to my downward pick slant. And so it's the group of notes that you have. These two are going to be slightly your upper pick slanting slightly here, versus these two is going to be downward pick slanted. My wife's cute. And so here, try this lick, man. It's just A minor, C major, right? I'm playing kind of A minorish right now. And we're just taking 2 positions in A minor, right? We're going to shift up and take 2 more positions and descend. All right? And you'll notice something. You'll notice that when I'm ascending, I am downward pick slanting. When I am descending, I'm upward pick slanting. You can see the switch immediately is on that note right there, right? Because I have to stay this way to get the other one, and then I have another downward pick slant. I'm sorry, upward pick slant. That's how it starts. Well, I'm sorry, I went too far there. We could play all of it. Which you should see that pick slant, right? I don't know if you can see it. Sorry. You can already see just that very first note. I'm upper pick slanting. That's tough to get to all of them. I don't know why I keep doing that pattern. Sorry. Yeah, but just take this part. That's a good one to practice, and when that starts feeling comfortable, you're well on your way, my friend. Yeah, I forget what I was talking about in the first place now. But yeah, the pick slanting thing is extremely important, especially for situations where you can find yourself wanting to play a lot of notes and you can't really, and I told you, it's really not that crazy, dude. I'm telling you, you'll if you try this for, just, maybe like a half hour, most days that you can, right? It'll take, a relative amount of time, but you're gonna see yourself going from pretty quickly to, and right there you can already start feeling how like the lick at speed's gonna feel. I messed up my picking there. You could hear I missed some of those notes. Same thing there. That's a cool one too if you want to get used to alternate picking on one string. You don't even really have to switch notes if you don't want to. You could, do I had a pattern that I showed last time. No, that's not it. What was it? Yeah, I think it's Yngwie, actually. That's why I was trying to go through that, the next part. I'm trying to figure out what that came from. I think it's from, what is it, man? Oh, I think it's from, nope. I can't play it. Yeah. Oops. That's such an old memory, man. I have not played that song in forever. When you say don't struggle with speed, do you not, how's your string changing and stuff? Do you feel like you're pretty synced up? I think that's a big key to speed, right? I just wonder, but songs, they're not necessarily that. So you mean like nuanced things? I have a perfect guy for you to get into. His name is Marco Sfogli. And you should go learn a song that's called Still Hurts. It's a really great song, and it's got really cool passages. Nice little... Oh, yeah. Okay, great. So economy picking is excellent for that. Right on, man. Yeah, so I would say, Marco Sfogli. Exactly. I'm not sure if you've heard of him before. If you have, great. You should go learn Still Hurts. It's got some really killer melodies in it, man. Let me try see if I can think about it. I don't really have the settings for it, but, we'll try. guitar is out of tune and I can't stand it. I bent something out of tune just then. I'm gonna actually see how the overdriven sounds. Let's see. Yeah, it's sick, man. So how did that sound? I'm using my amp today, which is a different setup for me. Does everything sound okay? Let me see if this sounds alright too. Sounds like we got quite a bit more. Yeah, I've been playing. I think I've been playing probably 20 plus years myself. So there's you got to quantify it with that, but I can only take that as a great compliment, and I'm sure you get by just fine, dude. You shouldn't sell yourself short. Take some of that treble out. Hopefully, how does the overdriven sound? Sorry, I hate to. I feel like it's too trebly. If it's too trebly, let me know. Nice. Excellent to hear, man. I really appreciate you giving me some feedback there. Yeah, man. I suck at economy picking. I would say that that lick I was just showing by Teemu Manasari, I'd say that lick is probably pretty close to economy picking, and I'm terrible at it, man. Yeah, man. So that's the thing. He gave me the idea of seeing my hand as, I'm sure there's in-betweens, right? We're talking about this as being this or this, upper pick slanting or downward pick slanting. I'm sure there's plenty of gray area there where you're like halfway in one, utilizing a small part of the other, right? I'm sure there's a gray area. But that being said, though, when he kind of talked about, hey, you really can't get out of the string without doing this, or you really can't get out of the string without doing that. Like, he showed a lick, and it really changed the way that I thought about it, because if I tried to start with an upstroke, there's no way I could play the lick, and I was like, oh, I got some work to do. And it really allowed me to, like, focus on the one part of my playing that was my weakest point, and catch that back up to the other one, which was upward pick slanting, right? That was the big thing. Coming down, when you descend... Why is it so? Oh, I have my pickups are so. This is a non-noise canceling pickup. When you're descending, and of course somebody like myself who was going after Paul Gilbert stuff was, definitely having a hard time picking inside the strings, which that is. We say, gotcha. Frank Bingbali's speed picking changed my life. It's what Tosin. Yeah, of course, man. Yeah, and the way that he rakes his notes, I love that, man. And when he combines it with like a, or that's probably what it is. I use that all the time. I love it. Or things like that. Like my upper pick slanting is kind of built into that. Like, that's exactly how his hand looks, right? He's doing this right in the guitar and like back up to get back to a downward pick slant for his next thing. It's really cool to watch him play. Let me show you this lick, though. This is Troy Grady. This is the lick. I think he called it the Pop-Tarts lick. It's very Yngwie-ish, but it is very comfortable for downward pick slanting because it's been constructed to always change the string on a downstroke, which means that you're up on the old string, down on the new string, and that's very comfortable for a downward pick slanter. And if you could see the lick like that, it makes it a little... that lick specifically... if I can play it right. I'll play it slow, actually. Just play it with the... I play it... Let's try to play that one. But yeah, it's a really cool lick. I messed it up there, but it's cool because it's comfortable. It's not a song. It's so if you go watch Cracking the Code, like the actual series, it's what he plays in his bedroom. He called it the Pop-Tarts lick. He sent me a message, or not a message, a comment on when I posted one of the other ones, and was talking to me about it. And he was like, "That's the Pop-Tarts lick." And I was like, "Oh, I got a name for it. It's perfect." Yeah, you got to check it out. It's like literally the first or second episode, and he plays it blazing fast. Like something crazy like that. Which I think my left hand fails it for my right hand does. I could probably go even faster there with my right hand. But it's really comfortable. That's the whole point of it. Whereas if you try to start that on an upstroke... Oh, that's so hard to do. It's hard to catch the new string on an upstroke every time, I should say, because it means you're down, up, right in between the strings, which is super tough, man. So sick, man. Oh man, here's a cool one for you guys. I don't know. Let me think about what the actual song it came from was. It might be that. It might be Yeah, let me think about that. What that is. I think that's the next part of it, not that one. I'm pretty much floating. I palm mute, so I'll have it on the back of the bridge right here, like doing this. But yeah, I'm completely free floating. Let me think. I can't. That's not what I'm trying to think about though. What's the other one? Yeah, this is it. This part is so cool. Check this out. It's such a sick song, man. And that little, I don't think he does it like that. I watched this thing. It was this random video on YouTube, and it was called Racer X 100% is what it was called, right? And it's like he's playing like a really detuned hollow body, Ibanez, of course, though. And he plays that song, and it sounds so crazy. And I think what he does is he goes. I think he uses maybe his first finger and middle finger and then comes up like that with his thumb. But there's no reason not to just use your thumb, right? Oh, I'm so sorry, man. Do you start that lick with a upstroke or downstroke? If you're talking about the Pop-Tarts lick, you start with a downstroke. This way you're catching every new string on a downstroke, right? Because down, 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 down. Yeah, man. What else? What else was I gonna talk about? So that's a cool. Let me show you what that is actually. I'm getting sidetracked here. Sorry. But so he comes down and hits a big A chord first, right? and we're including those two notes as well, which is really nice. Especially, it makes me realize like how in tune this guitar is, which is really nice after all that playing and stuff I was doing. Later, but yeah. And then we're. You can do it all downstrokes, or you can. So downstrokes. It's like bouncing, you know. But the down and up's easier. Let me think about how I do it. I gotta do it all. It's like. No, I don't do any alternate. I do down, down, up. You can do all down, which arguably feels better, honestly. But yeah, that's such a sick song. I can't remember what it is. I'm so bad with song names. Oh, You Gone Too Far. Gone Too Far. Gone Too Far. I remember it now. Okay. I think oh, I can't play it on this guitar. I need 23 frets. Sucks, man. I think he plays a major, just major 7 arpeggio there. You know, I don't know. Is there anything you're working on specifically, though? Nobody else is really talking, so I'm probably going to stream for another... How long have I been live? I'm probably going to stop at an hour or so. Go help out with dinner and stuff. See what the wife's doing. And I don't know if you have anything specific I can talk about for you. I have a ton of licks. I showed off quite a few before, but... Yeah, please, throw them in, man. Anything, man. Seriously. Or tips, tips and tricks. Also, it's just not just one way here, man. I'm not some like I sit on my hill and you ask me questions. Ha ha, little man. You know, like I'm definitely not like that. Yes. Very good question. Depends on the technique, of course. If you want to do your economy picking, I would say use this same idea, but make it an economy picking lick as opposed to an alternate picking lick, which is what I'm about to show you. Okay. There's a lot of things that get you around this, but the biggest thing is trying to pick outside the strings as much as possible in most licks. And what I mean by that is doing the Paul Gilbert thing. I recommend speed picking if you want to get an economy. Yeah, I'll check it out. Speed picking. Okay. Also, I follow Marshall Harrison quite a bit, and he is insane. I think he's like on this untouchable level of economy and hybrid picking, Swybrid, as he calls it. It's some of the stuff he does in his facilities on the guitar are just awe-inspiring. It's so much fun to watch him and hear him talk. And he's so, you know, there's like a forum, I don't remember where it was, but it's been years now, but they had like bad things to say about him. They were calling him cocky and stuff like that, but it's like, how is he cocky when he's coming on and just showing you all these licks and explaining all these things? And maybe he even takes time to go and sit and do composers, that maybe songs that people have never heard, so maybe they can get inspired. And if you want to, you could send him a message right now and he'd probably respond to you. Like, how is that cocky, dude? That's so ridiculous. Marshall Harrison, the guy is beyond anything you're seeing here. That's for sure, man. And if you haven't checked him out, you 100% need to go. Yeah, people love to hate. And it's ridiculous, especially for somebody who's kind enough to do all the things he does. I think he probably, man, I didn't even, oh no, today's Sunday. Yeah. He streams on Saturdays. So hop over there and watch. He's got a bunch of streams he like re-uploaded too, so definitely go check those out. But yeah, man, he is so much fun, dude. But yeah, so check this out. This is what I would say, and the same lick that I was showing you before is really good to use and to practice the two-way pick slaying along with alternate picking. But a big one for alternate picking, and I'll show you after this, is a really big one. We'll talk about it, okay? But try doing the Paul Gilbert thing first. Even if you don't want to do even if you don't want to do those notes, you can literally just practice the tough part of it, which is the string change, right? So up on the new string, down on the old string, we're downward pick slanting, and the feeling, it should be tough. It should be, I don't want to say uncomfortable, but it should be like you can't really settle in to make it go really fast. That's probably about as fast as I could possibly do it. If I plant my first finger, maybe a little bit faster, but you want to try to pick it up. But that's the key, man. How loose are my hands? How loose? My left hand is always pretty loose. I've kind of got to this point now where I don't even think about it anymore. It's like it's doing what it does, right? I think about what I'm supposed to do, which is I'm supposed to, minimize the movement here so I can get back down quicker, right? So I'm not bending my pinky to here and then coming back down like this, right? I'm just coming to like maybe here at most, so I can get down as quick as possible, right? I also have things that I've said about ergonomics of your hand and what it means to the guitar. So moving the rest of the hand away from the first finger, having the first finger be sideways and the pinky also be sideways, because that's really the only way you could make these two fingers be straight, right, is to have these two turn in. So you're kind of playing with the side of your middle or your first finger a little bit and the side of your pinky a little bit, in this kind of way right here. And that a lot of times alleviates a lot of stuff. For me to have to not to think about my fingers. No, they're just doing their thing, right? This hand is also really, really loose in the wrist and stuff. I don't think I squeezed the pick too tight. I never really thought about that. But as far as like, that's very loose, very loose. So the second lick, though, that you should use, and so that one's good. You can also move it through your shapes, dang, that's a lot of noise. Which is really nice. And also through your octaves and stuff, it's always good to try to get that second string skip in there, or string change, I should say, because we're up on that string, and then we have to be down on this string. Oh, I'm gonna play it. Of course, I'm gonna play it. So it's good to try to practice that too. But a really good lick is, I would say, just play your C major scale and try to triple pick every single note. I think that's a really good way to feel the alternate picking and still have to do the string changes. And you get to do it quickly too, which really works on your accuracy of being able to do that on every string. So you do like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I did too many. Which it's easier to focus on what pick you're doing on the new string, I should say. So if you're doing 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, you're up on that first string there, right? But because we did the opposite, we started on an upstroke here. We're down on the new string. I'm sorry, it's up there. It's really tough, especially because you're kind of having to do the same thing 3 times, right? That's the way I would think about it, at least. And then we're back to a downward pick slant. Slowly turning into that upward pick slant so we can get that string switch on the downstroke, and we're back to a down again, right? I'll try to turn this way. I try to exaggerate a little bit there, but Enrique, what's up, dude? But yeah, man, I think that's a really good way to get used to it while also having to do the challenging thing, which is change the strings and change your pick angle, more or less. Hey, thanks, man. I really appreciate it. Super nice thing to say. Um, I put them out there, or all these videos out there, like I was telling my friend Angelo here. Uh, I put them out there because I want to like try to help people, or at least start like a conversation of like, hey, Adam, you could do this here too. Kind of like he told me about speed picking, which I need to go check out and see, because my economy picking is terrible. But yeah. So I hope maybe you found some help from it, or if not, if you're just hanging out, I really appreciate your time, dude. The split positions on this sound great. Even with like the fast stuff. Back to where we started. Oh wait, he plays like this, sorry. Angela, throw another question out or something, dude. I'll hang out for a couple more minutes, man. If anybody has any questions, or maybe you got something to check out or something cool to talk about. I don't know if there's anything. Sometimes you play on a pretty dry, distorted tone, which make it hard to play fine. Do you do that on purpose? Or you just no, yeah, for sure. I even commented a few times earlier in the video. If you see it, I even commented on how tough it was. This is like easy city, bro. This is like the way this is. You can hear all the hissing, right? Oh, I say easy city. But I can do like a. Hear how fierce my pick attack sounds? I can float on that, right? But I'll go back to the other setting. Oh, and my gain was so high there. I didn't even think about it. I had my gain up because I was on the crunch setting before. I'm so stupid. No wonder it sounded so hissy, man. Yeah, well, I was really cruising there because my gain's way past where I usually have it. But yeah, I use the crunch setting, especially with this guitar, because the single coil on the crunch sounds way nicer, and indeed is much more difficult to play, which is really good for practice, especially if you can get your alternate picking lines to sound clean and full on a mostly clean tone. You still gotta have some dirt, but I mean mostly clean, like you could turn the volume down and have almost very clean. Let me see. Give me one sec. Yeah, that should be good to go, actually. So yeah, we're back to nice and clean, right? Right. This is a really good setting, or actually even my two position, which is good for doing. Yo, what's up, Jordeo? I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. Thanks for the greetings from France, my friend. Welcome to the Guitar Nerd Hangout. So yeah, so an example would be trying to do like your seventh arpeggios on a so you can hear I still have quite a bit of gain, but maybe turn the volume down a little bit. See, I wasn't super clean there for a minute, right? And then it allowed me to kind of see that, I could have skated on just doing that with lots of distortion on, right? Like it would have sounded just fine. I wouldn't even thought about it. But there, it really, you could really tell my descending pull off was not great. That's right. That's right. Isn't it funny how I have to do it all? It's ridiculous, dude. But I can get it clean because I can hear that part of it, Yeah, exactly, man. Exactly. Also, a lot of my lives, I'm at the music school, and all they have is like a little Vox, like solid state. It sounds great, I think. Some of my videos, I really crank it up, but yeah, I usually just have it on like a kind of I think that it sounds better, right? Like I think you have more influence there as far as pick dynamics versus having a ton of distortion. There's a point though. It comes to a point where depending on what you want to play, you might need to lean on it just a little bit, See, like there, it's not bad for all that. And I still get super clean. Of course, I can just have my super nice. Yeah. That's a cool lick for a turnaround. Let's see. Yes, I guess you're picking very lightly, very fluid. Yes. So interesting. I would say maybe not. Like when I'm doing my alternate picking stuff. I'm one of those weirdos that really likes to like lean into the note for a lot of it. Like I feel like that's if you saw my face right now, I'd be making all these crazy guitar faces. When I'm doing that, it's really great. It's a really cool feeling to lock into. And so I find myself being maybe a little bit too exuberant sometimes with my picking hand. A good example, I like doing like a, and if I play that, here, I'm gonna move my mic down real quick. You can hear that if I just play that acoustically, I'm really smacking the crap out of it, man. It's especially on that last note right there. That oh, I missed it. So I would say that I think I pick a little bit harder. I remember reading somewhere, or maybe it was Bruce Bouillet that said it. He said, I think he said something like, Paul Gilbert would come into like a studio session and like really, be picking the crap out of the strings. I'm sure you can hear that in my mic too. But then by the time that he had settled in and got really warmed up, it was much more controlled. I would say that I'm squeezing tighter on those harder pick notes, but yeah, relatively fluid. I would say as fluid as I try not to think about those things too much, but I think that Paul Gilbert would probably be the good example, not me, to be honest with you. Yeah, and it's something that you develop feel, after a while. Each guitarist plays seventh arpeggios in groups of 4 notes. 3, 5, 7, 3. Okay, yeah, sure. Oh, thank you. Yeah, so I would say in this case, I don't think I do it. If I did like I think I really rely on only doing triads mainly. I think I mostly, if I did like octaves or things like that, I would separate those, and I think triads I might, I don't know, and that's probably how I would do it. Because I would do it into like trying to get my 7th as I went, right? But I separate these things into, it was the things I was just showing. I like to do it with this, maybe just a part of it. That's the lick. So minor 7 flat 5. back to 1. You know, I think these are the best shapes to learn for all of your things. And I came up with I had a lick that I did, and I'll show it real quick, that I think is the best way to learn all of your 7th chord arpeggios and to put them all in one spot so you can just practice it. I think we do like a whole step shift, and that's it, to do dominant, and then we come back to minor 6, right? But I put them all in one spot for practice purposes. This is not meant to be like a lick you go and play in a show, but hopefully you can take this and expand it. It's important to know, I'm not saying this to you, Jordao, you definitely seem like you already know this for sure, but just for anybody who's listening to this, it's important to know the shape of your major scale, right? So you're knowing what steps you're taking when you do this. And here I just happen to be starting on 6, right? E minor. And so 7 would be a whole step away and then a half step to get to 1, right? So it's important that you know these shapes. Maybe not on the guitar neck, but you know, by whole half, like, you know, knowing that patterning, just thinking to yourself and considering where you're going. And you know, it's important to map them out in that way. So on and so forth. Dominant, of course. Sorry. The dominant shape itself, which we'll get to. Let me show you. I'll show you this this shape which I've worked out. I'm sorry, I do it in B, not A. So we're gonna do our minor shape first. Minor 7 flat 5 second, okay, and then fully diminished 3rd. Sorry. Damn, I suck, dude. Sorry. And then we're gonna come down and do major first. Major 7. You know, obviously these are all 7th chords. What are you doing, buddy? The dog's going crazy. Sorry. Oh. And then dominant. Taking us back. Sorry. I don't know why I flatten one, but I don't flatten the other. I'm sorry. Or we could just do major there. I guess we'd end it too. On like a major 7. But that's a long way to answer your question here, obviously, right? But that's how I would think about 7th chords, because I think we need more. We need more than like just the group of just the 4 notes. I like to maybe have like a part. You know, so it's interesting to consider, because to think about it, that I really only bring myself up in triads. Maybe like a, but I would also just be doing like, or, yeah, that's kind of a place I would use it. Maybe you have a suggestion of where I could check out some good 4-note 7th chord patterns. I would be definitely down to check that out. That'd be nice. That's a tough one though. All right. I think I might get off. Hopefully this sounded okay. If anybody has any other questions or anything, I'll stick around for a couple more minutes. But if not, I'm going to get out of here. Hey, thanks, man. This is a Kiesel. It is just a Kiesel Delos, which is, I think, pretty much a Strat. It's a very classic, just 22 frets, rosewood fretboard. Yeah, I can't remember which, there's like lithium or whatever. I can't remember what this is. This sounds pretty good. I'll be completely uncandid here with you. I want to replace all these. I have a very specific sound that I always play. This has been sounding pretty nice, but mostly just because it has a single coil, like a true single coil in the neck, which is really nice to dig into. For like those big riffs. So I want to put an Area 67 in both these positions, and then like a PAF Pro back here, probably. I'm a DiMarzio guy. But that being said, though, the guitar, Kiesel is second to none in my opinion. I have my, this is what I'm normally playing, which is my headless. But I think the key to tonight's experience, though, if it sounds good, is my Ingle. I have an Ingle Thunder 50 that I'm running through right now, and it has the ability, because I'm on the Crunch channel right now, to have this really nice, especially with this guitar. Has a really nice ability to kind of get those clean tones, but of course, this still is no slouch, I suppose, even though I want to change it. It's still got a nice slinky kind of sound to it, like really punchy. What gauge strings? I think these are 9 to 46, 9 to 42. I can't remember. I'm a 9s guy. I like 9s on 25.5 inch scale. That's my preferred. I played 10s for a while, and I didn't dislike them, but I always felt like I was better on 9s. So I just figured, why wouldn't I play 9s? I love them though. I've been doing that too much, man. I'll show that as the last one, okay? If you guys go to 4, it's cool to play 4 dominant, right? And I'm saying this in a very broad context here, right? If we're in B minor, if we're doing like a B shuffle, I shouldn't say B minor, it's B major, but if I'm doing a regular blues shuffle and I go to 4, what's nice is to play your 4 and come back to 1 that way. Using just your regular old C shape or D shape, but maybe we use it, and we can come back any way we want to from there. Like a, we can kind of have we can hold 4 a little bit long and get the, and come back to, or maybe we can come back to 1 that way. I would usually want to make this dominant in any way I could. Oh wait, sorry. Yeah, that's my bad. Make it dominant any way I could. So I wouldn't come back that way, but that's a really nice way to come back. That was terrible, sorry. Sometimes it doesn't work out, you know? Might be my sign to get off. Yep. Yeah, whatever. It's tough to go down 4. 5's much nicer. For some reason, that feels so much nicer. Oh, I'm sucking. All right, I'm getting off. Hope everybody has a good night. This has been, I think, my longest stream too. Please, if you you can, please subscribe. We will. We can just have more. We can have more discussions like this sometimes, dude. Now I gotta talk about it. The coolest part about this diminished shape is you can play the normal Yngwie lick. You can use it like that. You can use it and move it up those 4 frets just like you normally would. Just like that. Yeah, or any way you want to use it, right? But it's nice. You can go up and down with it or whatever you want to do. Yeah, the groups of 5s are much easier than 4, though. 4 is fun. If you want to get like a which is really nice. A nice like little jazzy thing to throw in every once in a while. You can make a minor 7 flat 5 as well, right? Instead of So we could also, which is nice, that it's that like crossroads lick, right? Which is a very difficult lick to play without hammer-ons and pull-offs. But okay, I'm getting out of here. Sorry. I appreciate the questions and stuff. Please subscribe and comment any questions or any ideas or anything you have, and we can make this a much better stream next time. And I appreciate all of you. Hope you guys have a good night. Thank you.